All right, so first of all, I just wanted to start off by saying a huge thank you to all of those of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel and subscribed to my Facebook and mostly subscribed to my OnlyFans because that is where I am actually making money. So I wanted to start the morning off on a good note, on a high note, and I just wanted to start off by saying a huge thank you to those of you who have subscribed to my OnlyFans. Welcome back to the program, everybody. Welcome back to another show. Welcome back to another episode. Good morning or good afternoon to all of my viewers, listeners, and Soul Tribe family. The name of this program is called It's a Conspiracy, but It Ain't No Theory. It's a Conspiracy, but It Ain't No Theory is a nonprofit social service agency suicide prevention campaign servicing the needs of families and foster children at risk. Lending my voice to help raise awareness by soft publishing a book trilogy called Lucy's Lair. Lucy's Lair is a graphic novel based on true events following my life as a freelance artist. This program is intended to help, encourage, heal, and empower survivors of cancel culture and rape culture, providing free information and free evidence regarding child abuse, sexual assault, domestic violence, electronic harassment, gang stalking, conspiracy, and true organized crimes, hate crimes against humanity, collective and covert. Your company can help by providing funds in a grant or by donating goods and services as I continue delivering this information and evidence to the public and advocating for foster children in need. Thank you in advance for all of your support. On today's episode, I am going to be discussing gang stalking, occult ritual abuse, and malicious harassment, hypersimulation theory, psychological operations, plus surviving the new world disorder per usual, surviving manufactured chaos, surviving manufactured karma, karma spelled with a C, C-A-R-M-A, karma. Surviving white genocide, and surviving the electronic targeting Holocaust. My name is Adrienne Alese. I am about that life. I'm doing the best that I can to rise above this evil, demonic, alien agenda, this New World Order agenda, and this Luciferian Brotherhood. I am the author and creator of a book trilogy called Lucy's Lair, Part 1, 2, and now 3. Do you want me to write 3 more? Because I easily can do that if you don't stop. Lucy's Lair is a book trilogy reflecting my life as a survivor of rape culture, child sex trafficking, and psychological gas chambers. On this program, I advocate for women's rights. So if you are a man watching this program, there is a chance that you will become offended. Now, I've been doing this program for over a year. For those of you who were here when this program first started, there was a trigger warning. Now, I, since then, have lost the trigger warning. Because this is not a brand new show. This is not a brand new episode. This is not a brand new program anymore. But if you are a man who is watching this, there is a chance that you are going to become offended. If you are a traditional woman who is watching this program, there is a big chance that you are going to become offended. So if you don't want to get your feelings hurt, click off. I am not doing this program to re-traumatize anybody. This is an advocacy program. So like I was saying, on this program, I advocate for women's rights. Those who identify as a feminist like myself. Okay? Basic human rights and the rights of those disabled. I also advocate on behalf of the foster children in the CPS system. Orphans, single mothers, foster mothers, and those less fortunate. Now, this program is marketed and campaigned to everybody. So you're more than welcome to listen, and hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you find this entertaining. And hopefully informative. You find the information useful. Targeted individuals or trafficked victims are predominantly women. 65 to 70% of targeted individuals are white American women or those who identify as such. This makes gang stalking an illegal operation or hate crime that is sexually and politically motivated towards American women and their children. Kamala Harris, come all and harass, the first female president of the United States of America. Can you believe that? It's almost unbelievable. That's how biased and sexist and racist their political agenda actually is. I find Kamala Harris as the first female president so hard to believe that, in my opinion, that is Obama in drag. That's how crazy I am. So anyways, to continue, this program is a dedication to the targeted individual community. Kamala Harris owes everything that it is and everything that it ever will be and everything that it ever will have to me, to myself. Thank you. The objective of the opposition or the counterintelligence program, COINTELPRO 2.0, is to subvert all of the target's potentiality, to terminate and to punish all supporters and sympathizers, to round down the target's output and audience, to marginalize the target, to eliminate connections and networking ability, amongst many other civil rights violations. Alright, so like I was saying, thank you to everybody who subscribed to my OnlyFans, and a big, huge, gigantic, enormous thank you to all of those of you who are buying and purchasing my content on my OnlyFans, because that really helps me a lot. So, just to start off on today's program, I wanted to say that I'm pretty much in need of every single thing, all the help that I can get right now, because I'm starting off with nothing whatsoever. I don't have a car. I don't have money for gas, even if I did have a car. I need to get a bank account. There's a bunch of errands that I have to run in order for me to establish like a residency here. There's a bunch of paperwork that needs to be replaced, like important paperwork, like my birth certificate, my social security card, and stuff like that, not just for myself, but also for my son, Ethan. I don't have a permanent residence or a permanent place to stay. This place that I'm staying at is a temporary spot. It's a Band-Aid solution. And I'm kind of in between spots at the moment. There's like 3 or 4 different places that I'm temporarily staying at. And if I had a vehicle, more than likely I'd be staying in my car. Just to get away from all of this gang stalking and all of this psychological warfare. And this malicious harassment and abuse. So anyways, So for those of you who don't already know, let me try to catch you up on what's been going on. This episode here is going to be more geared towards the direction of trying to get everybody caught up on the family drama and what it is that's been going on in my personal life, and more or less where I'm at emotionally and my headspace, where I've been at. So right now, currently, I am working on my sobriety. I am trying to quit smoking. I'm trying to quit drinking, and I don't want a whole lot of interference. I don't want people coming around me with their negative influences, and I need that those important people like my daughter and my mom. I need them to know, and hopefully they do watch this show. Those of the people that are really trying to help me get sober and to clean up and stuff like that. It's not like I'm doing anything illegal, but I had a drinking problem for a while, and I'm trying to kick that. And I don't need influences coming around me at this time, provoking me to do something and endangering me even further, which I feel like there's a heavy influence, let me just say it that way, for me to go out partying, okay? And basically ever since I got here to California, there's been this heavy, heavy, heavy presence, a demonic spiritual presence, excuse me, that's trying to influence me to do something that I normally otherwise would never have done. Now, once the CIA can introduce drugs into your life and get you addicted that way, it's very, very, very easy for them to mind control misfortunes for a target from that point on. They can set you up in so many different ways, which is why I've tried to avoid, and for the most part have been completely clean off of smoking any shit. Excuse me. I have never smoked any shit. I don't want to be offered that. Okay? I've never had people in my life or even around me in my inner circle really that close to me who do that, because I'm epileptic and I'm a square like that, so I don't party like that. I can never party like that. Because I'm like the one exception to the rule. I might have an overdose and I might accidentally die. And to be honest, I'm very fortunate, very, very fortunate so far that I'm almost 40 and I've never touched the stuff once. So Jerron and I broke up. For those of you who don't know, let's just start off right there. I tried to cover this as thoroughly as I possibly could. How the FBI goes about harassing a feminist and canceling the relationship. How the CIA goes about anchoring for trauma-based mind control in the relationship, and the whole process behind that, the whole programming behind that. So if that is something that you're interested in listening to and obtaining that information, you'll have to go back and watch all of the videos leading up into the breakup of what all they were doing, the psychological warfare and the psyops that were going on in the street theater, the street magic, the undercovers posing as innocent bystanders, the whole 9 yards, lobbying for sex cult traffic everywhere we go, the yoga pants, and everything, all of the harassment. It's all there on my program, so it's all relevant because it all ties in and it all plays in to this evil alien agenda. So while I'm on this note, I just wanted to say thank you, Heavenly Father, for opening doors for me once I got here to California, because so many doors were closed on my way out the last 2 to 3 years in Seattle. And my son got to the point where he blamed me for everything. And one of the things that I realized after getting to California, after coming to California and being here for a little while around my family and around my friends, something happened in the Vasquez family that I'm going to briefly mention because it's important. While I'll do my best to respect the family's privacy, I expose hate crimes here on this program, and it is worth mentioning to me. So, the eldest brother in the Vasquez family, his name is Junior. I apologize if this is going to be offensive, but he's a little bit older, and him and his father got into it on Mark's birthday. And the father was really severely injured, and he's a very elderly gentleman. Didn't deserve that at all, but it happens. It is what it is. And Sal Sr. had to be taken to the emergency room, so luckily we were there, and Mark was there, so he could take his dad to the emergency room. And he ended up needing to get stitches, so I'm really glad that he decided to go get help. Anyways, but to continue, all of the losses and all of the tragedy and all of the torment that I was experiencing in Seattle at the time, my son became very resentful towards me, and he ended up blaming me for all of the issues that we were having in the relationship and financially and otherwise. And he lashed out on me. And it was an accident because at first we were just playing around. And then he got really angry and something triggered him and he hit me. And I shared that with my YouTube channel. Now, when the cops came out that time, again, the whole situation was reframed and I was gaslit and I was victim blamed. And it was just really traumatizing because this political warfare is a bloodbath and you can see it for yourself. It's not fair how they all gang up and systemically influence this violence and incite these hate crimes and incite these wars inside the home. So that for the purpose of dividing and conquering the home. So in any case, it dawned on me at some point that, this happened to me and it happened to my son as well. And it happened when he was fairly young and he is still a child. So I don't blame him. I've never really blamed him, although I will say boys will be boys and they do play rough. And so women have to be careful because when it comes to that, you're never going to win. My son is already bigger than me. He's like 5'7", 5'8", and he's only 14. All right, but here's the thing. In a weird way, it dawned on me how I'm glad and I'm lucky it happened when it did happen and the way that it did happen, because I never want my son to harbor those feelings and to bottle up that resentment inside of him for his entire life. And then to lash out on me or somebody else as a result. The way that I seen on Mark's birthday. And now my son and I have worked through it. And with the program, I've helped to therapy him and rehab him because he's always overhearing me. Every time I do a show, he's there. Homeschooled. This is a part of his homeschooling, matter of fact. And this is just one more measure that I decided to take when I realized that my son was suffering the way that he was. And shortly after he attacked me, he was, for a very short phase, he was suicidal. And we came out of that by the grace of God. Now, I have suspicions. I have a sneaking suspicion that there was abuse going on in the home covertly and very secretively between Jerron and Ethan. And I will never know the full extent of it because Ethan will not discuss this with me. And I could be paranoid. I could be, because I have a past of a sorts. But in any case, my point is, I'm just really, really, really grateful that it happened when he was young, and that we're able to work through it now. And now he doesn't harbor that resentment towards myself any longer. And now that he has his father, he is like the happiest child. And all he ever really wanted was his father in his life. And I see that now. And I see how I made the right choice. And I am just so blessed and overwhelmed with joy because I saved my son's life when he was a baby. And I almost lost him again as a teenager. And I saved his life again. And I'm just really, really proud of myself as a single parent because it is really hard. It is really, really hard when there are all of these negative influences provoking these wars and promoting this evil agenda. And the war never ends. So anyways, I'm just really blessed and overwhelmed with tears of joy because I'm really, really happy that my son is happy. He is so happy. Every time I talk to him, it's like the way he used to talk to me when he was, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. When he was little, when he was happy and full of joy. When he used to call me mommy. And now he calls me Adrienne. So I am just really grateful to the Lord for returning my son back to a healthy mental space and spiritually and emotionally and otherwise. Because there was a time not too long ago where I thought I could lose him, or I was losing him to this alien agenda. But now he is just so happy to be back, and because he's happy to be back, I want to support him, and I choose to stay here in this area for him just in case. And so that's why I didn't go back to Seattle. Besides that, there's nothing but trauma for me to go back to. And in my opinion, it's not worth it. So for the time being, I've chosen to stay here in California. And I'm hoping that more people will come around and have a change of heart and support my decision to stay. So anyways, and it's because of all of the hard work that I've done on this program here that my son has recovered and come full circle. It's because of all the work that I've done on this program and all of the truth that I speak here that my son now knows about psychological warfare, political warfare, gang stalking, and psyops. So I'm truly, truly, truly proud of the work that I do here on this YouTube channel, and I want to keep this channel going and up and running for any other teenagers that may be in that same space. Alright, so for those of you who do not already know, this New World Order Luciferian alien agenda, it is a depopulation program. It is a depopulation agenda. So for those of you who do not already know how this depopulation New World Order agenda works, it is weaponizing mental health disorders, faulty mental health disorders. And, well, specifically with my child, with my teenage child, it tried to brainwash him into thinking that, nobody cares about him. His dad doesn't care. His dad's not there. His mom doesn't care. His mom doesn't care. Da-da-da-da-da. All this stuff, right? So that the target, or in this case, my teenage child, will accept the abuse. And then what ends up happening is they're able to abuse and torment the child, the teenage child, to the point where it chemically changes the DNA on a cellular, molecular level, from all the trauma-based mind control, all the neuro-linguistic programming, and all of the social engineering attacks, in combination with many, many other noise harassment, color harassment, trigger words, trauma words, and being harassed with lights and otherwise, financially, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, and physically sabotaged in so many different ways. It causes the victim of it to have a meltdown. It stages all of these events to look like they're just normal, life's normal breaks, so that way it can stage a psychological collapse. And it does this day after day after day after day, every single day. There's not one single day of peace. There's no peace because it is a psychological war. Okay? There is no justice because it is a hate crime, collective and covert. So in any case, when it comes to my teenage child, they try to brainwash him. And then he surely became suicidal. Now, if it happened in my home, and if it happened to my child, it can happen to anybody. Okay? So now I'm a little bit more mature. I'm wise enough to know that I'm going to rise above the enemy. And I'm pretty sure that my enemy, it knows this too. Okay? Which is why you really don't want to trifle with a chosen child of God who has answered the call. Those books would not exist had I not been called by God to write them. So in any case, what it does is it stages a faulty synthetic mental illness diagnosis, let's say bipolar or something else. Let's say depression. And then it weaponizes that, okay? The government, the enemy. It weaponizes that so it can get you to commit suicide or to do something else. To either hurt yourself or to hurt somebody else. So it'll take the child's trauma of not ever having a father, in this case, and then it weaponizes that. It's your mom's fault because your dad's never there. And so then it creates a synthetic mental illness diagnosis. It primes the subconscious mind for suicide. That's why you see movies like The Suicide Squad in Hollywood. They all need to be canceled. They all need to be jailed. I don't want to fucking see a single motherfucking one of those Hollywood celebrities ever again. They're traffickers. They're child trafficking pedophiles. Because they try to get my child to commit suicide. And this is how this evil Luciferian brotherhood and their alien agenda, this is how it thrives. So when I see your fucking yoga pants, I remember when my son was suicidal. I see you for the child trafficking pedophile that you actually are, and nothing else. I see you as the trafficker, the scum of the fucking earth, and nothing else. And I'm on this program to remind everybody of my name so they know I'm about that life. I have never lost a fight. Never. If anybody gets to the point where they want to physically hurt you, guess what? You already won. I got news for you, sweetheart. You already won. If somebody gets to the point where they're calling you fat and ugly, you already won. If somebody gets to the point where they got to brainwash your child to attack you and physically sabotage you, or anybody else for that matter, recruit flying monkeys to come and harm you in some way, you're already winning. That's why I say there is not one fight that I have ever lost. And I'm still here on this show fighting. Because I'm about that life. One of the funniest things that I heard, Mark's cousin, I'm just going to call him Jay. I don't want to exploit him or put his personal information out there because he is helping me. One of the funniest things I heard Mark's cousin Jay say was how this entire process of me bringing my son back home to be with his father and everything like that, how it's going to be like a novella. And so far, it has been exactly like that. And so I wanted to state for the record that while I was with my son and my daughter, and Albert had his girlfriend Jessica there, Jessica actually started this beef with me first. And there are witnesses who can testify, if need be, how she was trying to say that I was abandoning my son. And so she started this beef with me first. First of all, his father, Albert Vasquez, is right there. Who's abandoning who? Ain't nobody abandoning nobody. Second of all, Albert wants to keep him. I don't think either one of them have been this happy in a really long time. They're both really good for each other. They need each other. That's son and father bond right there. And Jessica's trying to intercept that so she can promote this alien agenda and have my son thinking that his father don't give a shit about him and that it's his mother's fault. I don't think so, devil. Not today, devil. Okay, Jessica? You can really see me. So anyways, like I was saying, she tried to call me out for abandoning my son. Where is Dr. Phil at? Where is the Maury Show at? Where is Jerry Springer? Because I swear to God, if I have to touch one of these things one more time, I want it to be on one of these programs. I want it to be on Jerry Springer. I want everybody to see. So anyways, she actually got crazy with me first. This crazy motherfucking bitch don't know who the fuck she's trifling with. Excuse me, Lord. Pissed me the fuck off. Talking about, you can't just leave him. That's abandonment. Okay, type it up. Take a picture. Report it, bitch. Do what you gotta do, bitch. Because I'm here taking care of my child. What he needs more than anything right now is a father in his life. And I'll be damned if I'm going to let your fucking scrawny meth head ass talk shit about me when I've been the only one providing for my child for the last 15 fucking years. All right, so like I was saying, it was really good to see my family. It was really good to catch up with everybody. There's been a few weirdos on both sides, actually. On his side and on my side. I did want to just mention how Albert and his girlfriend and a lot of other people, I'm not going to say their names outrightly, in that family. But anyways, how they're all smoked out. They're all on meth. They're all addicted to shit, okay? I really never wanted my son to be around that. I don't know what it is that they're on. I don't know what it is that they're doing. I don't do none of that shit. But it's definitely something. Now, I had a neighbor come over. A neighbor of the Vasquez family. And she was dropping dimes. And she was saying things that I can't even mention on this program, okay? About the girlfriend, Jessica, about what she got going on. And Albert gave me some money. I think it was like $20 or $30. And I gave it to this lady who at the time was a stranger. We just met for the first time. But my daughter coincidentally knew who she was because they all come from the same small town. So anyways, I was like, well, if my daughter knows who she is, then I bet you anything this lady knows who all these people are and what it is that they got going on behind closed doors that they themselves are too afraid to mention, that I'm going to get to today on this program. So, like I was saying, I don't really want to be around people who are like that. I don't want my son to be around people who are like that. But my son is getting to the point where he is now of consensual age, which is why, in my opinion, it is more of a vulnerable age than ever before. I don't want Albert and Jessica having sex in front of my child. I don't want Jessica inappropriately dressed around my child. I'm going to stick around to make sure that if I see some funny bullshit, I'm going to call it out for what it is. I don't fuck with the police. I don't fuck with CPS. I'm not going to sit over here and report you. I'm going to do my program the way that I have been, and I'm going to keep my own personal reports and journaling up to par so I don't skip a beat, so I'm thorough, and so that I don't miss anything. Not even one word, not one emotion, nothing. So, in any case, Felicity has the most beautiful hair that I've ever seen. And it's my opinion as her mother that she should be trying to get in to cast for like a Pantene Pro V commercial. Now I know she doesn't have the experience and she's young. She's only 18. But I feel like it would be a really great start for her to try to be cast into a Pantene Pro V commercial because she has that natural, beautiful hair that you see in these shampoo and conditioner hair product commercials. It is unreal how beautiful my daughter's hair is. All right. So back to the topic at hand. I just wanted to mention that before I go any further and possibly forget. My son Ethan is also growing and he looks like he could be an actor as well. It's very interesting because they get that from their mother, okay? Nobody on either side of the family, on the Castro side or on the Vasquez side, models or acts or has any entertainment experience whatsoever. So they absolutely do get that from their mother. Ethan looks like a young Batman, okay? So in any case, to continue with Albert's girlfriend, they're obviously up to no good. They obviously got a lot to be defensive for. And this is why every time we are around each other, there's always some sort of drama between Jessica and I because it's defensive. It's defensive because it's lying and it's hiding secrets. Well, in any case, I already know what the fuck it's lying about because the neighbor already told me something that I can't mention on this program. And I paid her $30 to tell me, to drop dimes on them, to tell me what it was that she told me, the neighbor. And so like on the first day there, I found out what it was that was really, really, really going on, you know. And the money I gave her, Albert gave to me. So that's how much I respect his money. I did want to mention how Albert's family has never, ever spent a single fucking dime on Ethan. They've never bought one single diaper. They've never bought one single t-shirt. They've never bought a onesie. They've never bought a wipey. They've never provided for him financially in any regard. They've never provided him with a meal until now. So I hate to be like, oh my God, but you owe me? I don't like to be like that. But because this family, Ethan's father's side of the family, has not helped so far, thus far, it is my obligation as his mother to force them to take responsibility for not only my child, but for Albert's child. Ethan is a Vasquez. Jessica is not a Vasquez. If she is not family, what is she doing opening her fucking mouth to curse me? Thank you. All right, so the first night that we were here, the first night in California, the first night back with the Vasquez family, Ethan's father's family, side of the family, they were already beefing because they were arguing over who's going to buy dinner for my child, for Ethan. So Mark was saying something along the lines, well, why do I have to buy him dinner, right? And then shortly after, maybe a day or two later, the night that Jessica said you can't just abandon your son, they were already arguing over who was going to provide dinner for my child, my son. Before I even got there, amongst themselves, because I pulled up, I walked up with my whole mob of people, my whole entourage, my daughter and Mark and my son was there too. He was already there. My son was already there. So as we got there, they were already beefing and already arguing over who was going to provide Ethan with dinner. Imagine if I called you every time at dinner to argue with you because you never provided for him. Not one time, never. Not once, ever. Now, I know I was a shit mother the last 2 years, but I was a decent human being and a really good wife and a really good mother before that. I feel like I paid my restitutions for being a horrible mother in blood when my son attacked me accidentally. So if I was ever a bad mother, I paid for it in blood. Not just any blood shed. My blood shed. Not yours. Not Jessica's. Not Ethan's, nor anybody else's. On the night that I'm referring to right now. I might have been a bad mother, but I paid my restitutions in blood. Y'all can't even get everybody together to figure out how you're going to support my son. And you put all of that responsibility onto myself. And that's why he's blaming me for all of my failures in life now that he's getting older. And now that he's old enough to realize, you think that he's not going to get to the point where he's old enough to realize the same situation with you all? Another thing that I wanted to mention is nobody ever sits around arguing about who's going to provide Deja with her fucking dinner. And I'm going to continue to protest this on my fucking program, and I hope everybody keeps an open ear and an open mind. And I'm praying for changes. Because Deja is not Mark's responsibility. Deja is Albert's daughter. What the fuck is Mark doing providing Deja with every fucking leisure and every comfort that Ethan's being deprived of? This is one thing that I go hard as fuck on this program. So you mean to tell me that while I'm getting my ass beat by my son, while we're all starving and homeless, Mark is over here taking care of Albert's daughter? Why? It's not his place to take care of Deja. Now that there is a real woman around who doesn't smoke meth, who doesn't have a drug addiction at all, you're going to hear it. So long as there's breath in my lungs, you're going to hear it. That room that they're giving to Ethan right now, it's supposed to be for Deja. So why isn't Deja living with Albert? And why isn't Ethan staying in Mark's home, in the bedroom that Deja's in? Because if I had it my way, this is how things would be. My son with me the way that he has been for the last 15 fucking years. All this arguing over who's gonna get him dinner? Shut the fuck up. Go slap yourself, bitch. My son in the home with me and whoever my man is going to be. If that's Mark, and right now we broke up, so we're not together. Mark and I are not together. I said that this relationship would only last 6 months. Girl, it lasted 6 days. That's how narcissistic these fucking men are. So, like I was saying, my son and my daughter in the home with me and nowhere else. In that home with me and whoever my boyfriend, my fiance, my baby daddy, or my husband is, which for the time being, it was Mark. So there should be no arguing over who's going to provide what. That's my child. And if you're dating me, his mother, you have the moral obligation as a man to step up to the fucking plate and also provide for that woman's child, for my child. To provide us with a comfortable bed to sleep in, a home, a car, resources, money for food, education, and health care. We were never together so long. The way I see it, we were never together. We were never, ever, ever together. Mark and I never dated. He used me for sex. And that's it. And it's disgusting the way that these men operate. These narcissistic, psychosadist men. Covert narcissistic men. His cousin is helping me more, providing me with a place to stay, and so on and so forth, than the man who I'm giving my pussy up to, who should be having me stay there in his house, kicking out everybody there that's not even supposed to be there, and giving myself and my son and possibly even my daughter on the weekends a place to stay, a bedroom to have. That place was never supposed to be for Deja. She needs to go figure out her own shit. She needs to go move in with her father. And the reason why I'm so triggered, the reason why I'm so fucking pissed, it has nothing to do with Deja personally. I don't have an issue with Deja personally. I have an issue with these narcissistic, covert narcissistic men doing more for a woman or a child who they're not even having sex with. Family or not, family or otherwise, than they do for the woman that they're using for sex, or for my child, or for my children, excuse me. So what the fuck is it doing there, and why am I over here, is my point. Let me try not to get off the rails too much. Now, Deja was in a foster home. There are things that are going on in this house that are unspeakable things. And those things that this family doesn't like to talk about are things that I'm too comfortable talking about here on this program. Those are the things that I work to expose. What is Albert's daughter, Deja, doing taking Mark to the cleaners every paycheck? She shouldn't even be there. But I'm going to tell you a secret, a dirty little secret. Albert has a fucking problem. He don't know how to keep his fucking hands to himself. And this isn't something I read on a fucking CPS report, bitch. I know that for a fucking fact. Because the first time he seen me, he gave me 2 long-ass, gropey motherfucking hugs. Why, if Albert has that problem, what's to say that Mark doesn't have that same problem? What's to say? Who's to say that he doesn't entertain the same intrusive thinking, the same exact intrusive thoughts that Albert has, that tells him to grope on people and to touch them inappropriately? Who's to say that Mark doesn't entertain the same demonic presence? Something has put it in Mark's head that he needs to provide for Deja. What is that thing? That's not his child. This man that wants to use me for sex will not even help me with my own child, with my own career, with nothing. But he wants to help Albert's daughter, teenage daughter who's 15. Keep in mind, Albert left us, my son and I, for a 15-year-old. This family is fucking scandalous. Sexually deranged. So anyways, the corruption scandals lead me to believe that something else is going on because it just doesn't add up. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Why Deja don't stay with Albert when there's a bedroom there for her? It implies that there is sexual abuse going on and possibly even worse. Now, I know what you all are going to say. Fuck me and the horse I rode in on. Guess what, sweetheart? You paid for neither. So you don't have the right nor the place. It's not your place to say fuck me and the horse that I rode in on. Okay? I started this program off today on a high note because I knew it was going to get nasty. All right? I apologize for my language. I apologize for anything that I might have said that was offensive. I pride myself on the fact that this program is real and raw. This is not CNN. If you were looking for CNN, you know where to go to find CNN. Thank you very much. But do try to keep an open mind and understand that because of the corruption scandals that lead women and their children to become suicidal, this is why I have to be extremely thorough when I do this program and when I do the independent journaling on these hate crimes against humanity that are taking place, like depriving my son of his right to have his family helping him. That's a crime against humanity, sweetheart. Pay your fucking restitutions already and shut the fuck up. You owe more fucking restitutions than your lives are even worth combined. Okay? So Mark and I were never dating. We were never dating, okay? He used me for sex and he stuck me in his cousin's fucking garage. Which, by the way, I owe the cousin a gigantic thank you. Now, I'm not going to throw it back for the cousin because I'm tired of being used for sex. Once you give them what they want, they don't want you anymore. That's why chasing is a major part of their addiction. It's severe. It's deep. The thrill of getting you is worth more than having you. So that's why they are fixated and obsessed with doing more for somebody they have not had sex with yet. Like the coworker or the work wife or whatever. So I wanted to say a big, huge thank you once again to everybody who has liked, shared, and subscribed on my OnlyFans. Okay, a big, huge thank you because I do a lot of work on there as well. It all ties into this suicide prevention campaign for fostered youth that I'm running on this YouTube channel. That is still up and that is still going despite the enemy's negative labels of me, constantly trying to obsess over making me crazy so that the world will think that I am that versus the truth. So in any case, like I was saying, Mark and I were never together. This is the way that the covert narcissist, the psychocytist, really feels about a real woman. When it comes to a real woman, they absolutely hate the idea. Which, if you really think about it, is a scary thought. So you can see in the text here how he's telling me that he hates me and how he's making it seem like I'm gross when I sent him a photo, and I didn't have to say fuck you because my photo said it for me. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you so much, Spirit. So, that's how gifted and talented I am. That's how full of the Holy Spirit that I actually am. Now, dealing with these devils does take me out of my character. It does. And I have to repent and ask for forgiveness, because this is not who I want to be. This is not who I really am. This is taking me out of my character. But you can see here, if somebody tells you that they hate you, that is a hate crime. Okay, so I have to expose this on my channel because this is what I've dedicated my life to doing. Now, with these narcissists, nothing is ever permanent. It is a temporary band-aid solution. It is really sad that my son has to overhear narcissistic men threatening to kill me, like on the phone, over the phone with Jerron, the ex. That's what my son was exposed to. And now anybody and everybody watching this program is now going to be dealing with secondhand trauma because of the fact that he is sitting over here using the device to abuse me, calling me gross with an emoji, and saying that he hates me. Which, by the way, he has nothing to hate me for. I haven't done anything up until this point for him to hate me. To him personally, I've been nothing but good to him personally. And I shouldn't be, because I don't owe him that. It's the other way around. So it's a scary thought, because the covert narcissist is constantly thinking that the world owes them something, which is why they become rapists or pedophiles. Because of their flawed way of thinking that the world owes them something, they will impose their own will upon the life of their victims. So I had to go into my OnlyFans account, and I had to delete like half of the followers that were on there that were really just on there trolling. One of the fans that I had went by the name Queen Bee. So apparently Queen Bee is a fan of me. You take that how you will, okay? You take that how you will. I'm just saying that bitch was blocked. The ex-Jerron was blocked. He cut off my cell phone service yesterday. It is a miracle that I am able to do this program here today, because I don't even have cell phone service. I owe that to the cousin. So thank you again to the cousin. Now, don't try to pressure me with sex or force sex. Please don't ever do that to me. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. If I want to entertain you sexually or otherwise, I will let you know. However, this behavior right here, I am not going to tolerate whatsoever. This whole I hate you, you're gross, all this stuff is not going to be tolerated. This, you're abandoning your child, will not be tolerated any longer. This negligence and this abuse will not be tolerated. With your fucking shit meth head ass talking all that shit because you can't even go a day without smoking meth. So in any case, you can see here how things fell out and how easy it was for him to fall out of love with me. It was never love. It was a narcissistic relationship where he thinks he's pimping, and he probably took all of the videos and all of the photos that I sent him, and he probably shared that with all of his brothers, with all of his cousins, with everybody he knows, because that's what these traffickers, that's what they do. When you send something to them that is supposed to be for their eyes only, it is never just for their eyes only. They share that shit to make you look ugly, dumb, stupid, and crazy with everybody that they know. Matter of fact, Mark stole photos of myself from a cell phone that I had right after I had Ethan. And I had taken some photos of myself and my baby so that I can send it to Ethan's father while he was in jail. Because for those of you who do not know, Ethan's father was incarcerated when Ethan was born. That is the real reason why Ethan never had a father. It was not because of anything that I said or did. Ethan's father was incarcerated for throwing a glass beer bottle at Anita Aranda when she hooked up with my ex-baby daddy, Michael Castro. When Albert found out that she was going to my ex's for revenge sex, and they did hook up, he got mad, he got drunk, he stalked and followed her at my baby daddy's house, found her there while I was in the car pregnant with Ethan in my belly, and he tossed a beer bottle out of the window in the direction of his baby mother, who had their child in a car seat right there with her at the time. That child was Deja. She was a baby at the time. So because he got angry and obsessive over his ex, I myself wasn't even angry and obsessive. I myself wasn't even mad. I was moving on. I had a baby on the way. Didn't care. Why the fuck should you care? If you got something better waiting for you in the car anyways. Right? So in any case, God rest her soul, because Anita is no longer with us. Apparently, she passed on somehow. Very, very suspicious death there as well. And I rebuke all of this in the name of Jesus. You see how these men are so evil? They set these women up to be with somebody who's worse, to abuse them until they commit suicide. I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. I rebuke it all in the name of Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. God, forgive me for my violent words here on today's program, but this whole I hate you and you're gross really had me in my feelings. Okay, I am sorry. But so anyways, like I was saying, this is the reason why we're not together anymore, and I need everything. I need every single penny, every single dollar, every important piece of documented paperwork, like I've already mentioned. I need clothing. I need to be able to wash my clothing because I don't have very many clothing. I don't have any clothes at all. I'm very fortunate to have this phone. I'm very fortunate to have the floor that I sleep on. I'm very fortunate to have the little bit of family help that I do have. And none of this is a direct attack on any of the people that are helping me. None of this is a direct attack on any of the people that have been helping me. This is all for the sake and purpose of me covering my ass to make sure that they don't stage some sort of synthetic suicide programming. Okay, because that's what they do. That's what it works collectively and covertly to do. So we were never dating, and if we were dating, I would be living there in the home with my child, and so that never happened, and so yeah, so you can see here how I started off a few weeks ago talking about how they always seek to exploit help. They will say that they're going to help you, but what they really mean is that they're going to exploit you and abuse you while using help as the excuse for the abuse. So anyways, if you guys wouldn't mind, please like, share, subscribe, and I also do encourage everybody to leave positive comments in the comment section below. No trolling, and none of that crazy mess that I'm dealing with. Okay, so in any case, thank you for joining me on today's program. All right, so I did want to also mention just before I log off for the day and get started with my own job and career. When these covert narcissists say that you're gross, when they say that they hate you, or when they say that you're abandoning your child, or anything like that, it is projecting. It does not hate you. It hates itself for trying to control you, for lacking self-control. That's why it seeks to control its victims, because it itself has no self-control. Okay? Because it's incapable of being able to control itself and its own impulses. That is why it wants to control you and your life so bad. So anytime you're dealing with a narcissist who's telling you you're gross and that they hate you or you're fat and ugly, that's how it actually secretly feels about itself. It's projecting those undesired feelings of low self-worth onto its victims. This is what they do. Okay? It's ritual abuse. It's a hate crime. And what it'll do, too, is it'll like toss something around and you'll end up getting hit. And you'll end up getting hurt because of something it threw around. And then it'll say, well, it was an accident. No, the fuck it was not. You intentionally physically sabotaged me when you made the decision to throw your hands up in the air and to grab whatever it was that you grabbed and to toss it towards my direction. That's not an accident, bitch. But then what will happen is because they will tell the police that you accidentally got hurt. And then when you turn around to pop a motherfucker, you go to jail. So you need to be very, very, very careful and use your words, because it will try to reframe the situation as if you just so happen to coincidentally fall and slip and hurt yourself accidentally. And then when you turn around and slap one of these things, you're going to go to jail. So just be cautious. All right. And so I call it a thing. I call it an it because it is an it. It's a governmental entity. Anybody working secretly or covertly as a silent operative or as a covert narcissist is a mutating subspecies, meaning they're products of their environment and they will adjust to fit the mold according to environmental stimuli and according to environmental influences. So it's not a person, okay? It's a mutating subspecies and it's constantly changing according to environmental stimuli and according to environmental influences that, as it turns out, usually are more often than not negative influences. Thank you for your time. I hope you all enjoyed today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed today's program. And I encourage you all to come back and join me again on the next episode, which I have 2 that I'm working on so far. One of them is going to be more along the lines of how we are all created to be products of our environment based on social pressures, etc. And also another one finishing up the chapter 18, Operation Gladio. And I'm going to be covering section 8 and section 9, as well as appendix 1, 2, 3, and 4. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for your time again. Thanks for all of your help. Thanks for all of your support. If you have been donating money, I really appreciate that because I'm starting off with nothing and I need everything that I can get. I'm currently seeking a place, a more permanent residence to stay at, preferably someplace that has a washer and dryer. And also, too, I am looking for cell phone service, so I need to go get and set up a cell phone line. I don't have any way for my children to contact me at all right now. In addition to that, I am going to have to find, like I said, a more permanent residence, and I'm working on trying to secure that. So if you are somebody who is listening, if you are somebody who enjoys this program, or if you're somebody who has been keeping up with this program, now would be the time to donate, because the negative influences that were controlling my monetary success, my financial success, they're no longer a part of my life at all anymore. So I'm on my own, and I have a few people that are helping me. And I'm very, very grateful to the few people that are helping me with no strings attached, of course.